The Making College Come True radio show brought to you by Tucson International Academy. Just in case you're wondering, I am not Dr. J. This is Pastor John here with also not Dr. J, Mr. Brian Beebe, also known as Mr. Beebe around the Tucson International Academy campuses. Thank you for joining me once again, brother.
Hey, it's always a good time, and it's always nice to not be Dr. J.
Yeah, to not be Dr. J. Mr. Not Dr. J. Get your name tag.
I think I will. Those are two big shoes to fill.
Those are really big shoes to fill. Yeah, I can imagine that's pretty exhausting to live a life of the day of Dr. J.
Yeah, I want to keep my bar a little bit lower.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you for sure. I like having my evenings doing nothing and vegging out. So
I don't do that. I'm in education.
Yeah.
I don't get evenings.
You don't get evenings. Okay, sorry. Well, you guys enjoy. I'm not Dr. J and not Mr. Beebe. And we have in studio with us two amazing Tucson International Academy students. If I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're the coolest two kids that go to Tucson International Academy. Yeah, no, maybe. They give me lost looks. I don't think they know either. And then I also have my little pupil, Tristan, here in studio with us, sitting in the side corner there, silently being a nice little studious young man, right? And I'm guessing you guys probably about the same age. How old are you guys? You're 15. Okay, she's older than you. How old are you? You're 15 too. Okay, so they're... Oh, they're sophomores. Okay, cool. So they're a little older than my son, who's 14. He's a freshman, so he's just learning. You got to teach him up, tell him like what to expect in the next stage. Yeah. So, but the cool thing that we want to talk about, and we were talking about it before the show even started with Dulce and Emmanuel, is something that they're part of with the junior achievement that they do the stock market challenge. I guess Mr. Beebe, explain more about the stock market challenge, and then we'll ask Dulce and Emmanuel their part in it.
It's a really cool event that JA does. It comes with 3 hours of curriculum where they learn about the basics of stock and dividends and how trading works. And then then they have a practice of this kind of live accelerated version of the stock market where every day for the first round is 60 seconds. So if you think following the stock market one day at a time, try doing 1 day every minute.
That's wild.
And then they have an event that's statewide. And TIA, this is their first year participating in it. We had 16 teams. And
16 teams from TIA.
From TIA.
Okay.
Yeah, the bell rings. You have $500,000. Let's see what you can do with it.
And how many teams were in all this year?
109.
109 teams. Okay, nice.
Yeah, and TIA had, I believe it was 2 top 20 finishes their first year.
Nice. So you got some big brains. I'm guessing there's a couple of the big brains over here. I see it.
Well, they ended up on the plus side, so They did better than a lot of people.
Better than me in real life. For sure. So I guess I'll start with you, Dulce. Tell us about your experience with this stock market challenge through junior achievement, and what you thought about it.
So they gave us the paper on Monday. So I kind of reviewed it at the start, and then kind of saw what I was gonna do. They also showed us a video which I was watching, and I saw that clothing was going up, so I kind of used that information during the actual event, so we could get more stocks at one point, and that's what was going up when we were doing the stocks. So we just kind of bought more at the beginning, and that's how we kept on growing with our money.
Nice. And did you enjoy it? Was it a pretty...
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good experience, just barely learning how to do it. So
Yeah, they have, during the actual live event, there's an MC. They're reading the news. They're talking about what's going on with different companies. Government just offered this contract to this company, and that started skyrocketing. So they saw how the outside world affects the market, and the market is the outside world. So it really had a real world part of it. And I'm pretty sure that you guys probably hadn't thought a whole lot about the stock market.
No, not very much.
You just think maybe it was just for a bunch of rich old guys?
No.
Well, it was interesting to see these kids really kind of get how it works. and participate in it. And I read 3 essays this week that kids had written about how part of their plan in life is to invest.
Go back. Yeah, for sure. And speaking of good investments, we have Dr. J stepping into the studio with us.
Yay.
Welcome, Dr. J.
Thank you.
I know you're out saving the world, so thank you for taking a minute away from saving the world for us to
the usual.
Yeah, to bless us, and you look beautiful as always.
Oh, I thank you.
So that
it's an effort. It's an ongoing effort.
I know it's a day-to-day thing. All of us, yeah.
Yes.
Andreas reminds me regularly that I can't let up. That I wake up, do my morning warrior ritual, and get right into it. Yeah.
That's right. I have my morning ritual too.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys were able to start. This is exciting what we've been going through at TIA.
Yeah, absolutely. And before you came in, we were talking with Dulce and Emmanuel here about the stock market challenge.
Yes.
And Dulce was telling us about her experience with that and how much she enjoyed it. And Emmanuel is about to tell us what he enjoyed about it.
I love it.
So the thing I enjoyed about it was actually most of the stuff that what they would do, like going up in prices, and you would have to constantly try to check what you were doing, and most of the stocks would go up and down. You had to check what you wanted to sell and what not to sell, and if you wanted to hold on to it. And it was pretty hectic at first, but then once you got the hang of it, it was actually pretty easy somewhat. So getting some of the prices right, and some of the stocks you would buy would go up and then they would go down because of something happened inside the company. So it was kind of exciting.
So like Dulce, was there anything that your group saw? No, Emmanuel, was there anything that your group saw that you're like, oh, okay, we need to buy that stock because they got a new CEO, or because corn is being obliterated in southern Texas, or whatever the case may be?
So yeah, a lot of the stuff that went up was mostly like food items. So like food companies, like stuff that we had, and some of the stuff would go down because of like what happened. I believe some of the stuff that happened was like something happened with the food and whatnot. And so the prices would drop down, and then the stock would go down, and then a lot of the stuff was hectic. Some of the food stocks that you would try to get, you would see they would go up for like a little bit, and then they would go down quick, like after like 30 seconds or so. So they would crash down.
Nice. So what would you say you learned from that challenge?
What I learned is to keep track of a lot of things, to be honest. Like put your eye on something that you want to get, but if it doesn't go down or up, then just try to hold on to it, see what happens, and just keep going.
What about you, Dulce? What would you say you learned from it?
Well, what I learned about it was that sometimes some of the stocks might not do well in the things. So if you think that if your stocks might go down, probably sell some of your shares, because maybe that might be the problem that you have, because some of our shares were going down because of how many we bought. So we decided that we were going to sell some, and then that's when our prices started going up.
Nice. Well, cool. Well, we're going to talk about all that and more after this break. This is the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy. If you have a student between the ages of K through 12 that you're trying to make college come true in their life, go to TucsonInternationalAcademy.com. We'll be back right after this break.
We now return to the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy.
Hello, welcome back to the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy. I am Pastor John McLean here with... Oh, I didn't get to do this earlier. I get to do it now, though. Oh, my favorite part of the show.
This is the flattery part.
Yes, with the superintendent of Tucson International Academy, a former Tucson Unified School District educator, the author of the book, Making College Come True, 10 Keys to Success.
Yes.
And still, another week has ticked by, and she's the newest talk radio show host in the fair city of Tucson, Arizona. And her name is Dr. Jennifer Hernetta.
Yay!
Yeah,
Woo,
Dr.
woo,
J in
woo.
the house.
Whoop.
Yep. Yeah, I get to do that every week.
Wonderful.
So that's us having fun, kids. Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
the like the tip of the iceberg for
You
us.
have to celebrate, right?
Yeah. So we have a couple of TIA students here in studio with us. They told me during break that they are indeed the coolest two students at
They
in
are,
the Tucson
definitely.
International Academy network. But before we get into these cool kids, Dr. J, please tell us more about the relationship between, or the partnership between JA and Tucson International Academy and all the cool stuff you guys are doing.
Okay, I mean, I can start that conversation. JA stands for Junior Achievement. It is a nonprofit organization that serves students nationally. I don't know if it's international.
It is.
Internationally. So yes, they are. They have these experiential projects and programs, and basically, what do you call it? Where you're simulations, where you get to practice how to impact or be impacted by the economy. And economy is important at this time in our lives because without means, you can't eat, sleep, drink, anything. You have to have enough money. So money is a big focus right now for all our lives. And it's something that you need in order to survive. Maybe at some point in the future, it won't be that, but right now it is. And so we want to prepare the kids to know how they never have to feel victimized. They never have to feel like, oh, I just have bad luck. I'm just no good. And that's what I think the mission of JA kind of includes, is that they don't want kids to feel a lack of power. You can make the money you need to make and that you want to make. And you don't have to feel like, you know, something was closed down to you. Everything is open to you. You live in the United States of America and you have lots of doors that open for you. And you should take advantage of those things so that you can live the life you want. And that includes planning for your economy and for how you're going to finance that life. And so JA to me is an expert programming personnel, because there's people behind all that programming that really make the difference of you being able to use that program. And that's what I like about them, because I have seen on the market lots of really cool stuff that you can buy for your school or for your curriculum and you can implement, and it's good information. But if you don't have the personnel, I mean, first you have to teach your teachers how to teach that particular product. And you have to go through this big, basically a big harassment is what it feels like to me, to utilize what you just spent thousands on. And then the teacher may quit in 3 months because they had an unexpected illness, or they have to move because they're in the Air Force, or whatever it is. And so now you got to start all over with a new teacher, and that's hard. But JA comes with not only the program and the experiential experience, but it comes with the personnel to support you through it. So I know at the beginning of our stock market challenge, it was fun getting, we were so excited, but they couldn't get into the program. We had a phone number. We called it. They gave us the right code. That's the kind of stuff that makes a difference for educators. Like, you've got this brilliant idea. Oh, you've got this new software. Oh, you've got this. But they don't understand there's a lot that we have to do to utilize those materials. You can have a beautiful resource and nobody uses it. And the reason is because you haven't made a way for them to access you when it goes wrong. And when you're first learning anything, it's going to go wrong. And when you're a teacher and you have like 30 things that you have to make sure you're using, you're going to drop the ball on the ones that don't have enough support. And so that's why I'm not a big fan of outside resources, because it doesn't work. Long term, it doesn't. I've been in business 20 years. Does not sustain the program if you don't have the personnel to back it up. So that's why I love JA. They have the personnel. They pay people to be on staff, and they have a ton of volunteers. How many volunteers do we have? I mean, it's like crazy numbers, right?
There's a staff of 2 here in Southern Arizona serving Tucson and surrounding area, but there's dozens and dozens and dozens of volunteers. That's how I started. I started in the classroom as a volunteer.
Oh man.
Yeah, and the people, it's passion for them.
Yeah.
It's they're not getting paid.
Yep.
Well, They're getting paid in love and appreciation, basically.
And that's a big deal because the kind of people that put these kinds of things together, they do care about the kids. You guys you students, sometimes and when an adult cares or not cares, but it's kind of cool to work with an organization like this that you see actually cares. I mean, all those people are volunteers. I mean, they gave up their time just to talk to you guys, and they don't even know you personally. And yet, at the end, it felt like we were at a party celebrating the end of the phenomenal event that it was. And yeah, definitely worth it. And that's the difference. That's JA versus other things I've tried. So what a nice thing to be. So Brian Beebe is on the board of Junior Achievement JA, and of course brought me in on it, which I'm so glad you did, because it's an honor to be in an organization that organized and that's that strategic. Mm-hmm. Because we all know that it matters. Your lifestyle is impacted by the funding that you can bring to your life. Mm-hmm. And yet you don't want to compromise on your natural gifts. If you want to be an artist, it's just tricky. You have to find a way to support that artist lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's okay, and there is a way to do it. So that's what my excitement is about it.
Nice. And then, so I know that you guys you're in the middle of the stock market challenge. What are some of the other things that kind of are on the horizon that you guys are going to be doing with JA?
Well, I mean, the one that I know of, now see, this is where Brian can fill in, but one of my things that I learned about 20 years ago when I first started my school was I heard there was this thing called BizTown. And BizTown was like an economy set up for, it was it reminded me kind of like of a mall, but with all these different businesses, and they have like a bank, and they have like fast food, and then they have like a stadium where you can watch a movie or a sports game. They have like other types of businesses that you use in everyday life, things you're selling, just really great stuff. And the kids actually have to apply for jobs at those different places. And it's a big process to get prepared for your day at BizTown. And then you go to BizTown and you do that job. And the one story I always tell, because it was told to me, I did not experience this, as like secondhand. I'm relaying it. This kid was a 12-year-old, and he was the manager of the bank. And he said he was looking distressed, and he was all alone in his bank, and he was running around, and there was a line of 15 kids waiting to use the bank, and he was looked like kind of he was going to cry. So the lady, the JA volunteer noticed it, went over to see, hey, it looks like you're a little stressed. How can I help you? And he goes, I don't understand. How can people, they have a job. They said they would do the job, and they were supposed to show up. But they aren't showing up for their shift, and I can't do everything. And so he's like all desperate. He's freaking out. He's like, people said they would work and they didn't show up for work. And I thought, oh my God, this youngster is learning a lesson, which is true. Mm-hmm. How many times have we in our businesses had someone not show up for work?
I know. And we
How
have to
can
do their
they
job
do
for
that?
them.
Oh
mm-hmm.
yeah, you
mm-hmm.
and then everyone suffers.
Yeah.
So you got to honor your commitment and show up. I bet that kid ends up being an excellent employee first, and definitely he'll be a leader, no doubt about it.
For sure. Absolutely.
Those are the lessons you learn at BizTown.
Well, cool. Well, that's super awesome about the relationship between Junior Achievement and Tucson International Academy and all the awesome things that you guys are connected into because of it. We're going to talk about all that and more after this break. This is Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy. If you have a student that you're trying to get into college, go to TucsonInternationalAcademy.com. We'll be back right after this break.
We now return to the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy.
Hello, welcome back to the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy. I'm Pastor John McLean here with the Dr. J, Dr. Jennifer Herrera. Yes, indeed. And I got the quiet Brian Beebe sitting next to me. Every now and again, he'll probably chime in when he has some good information to share.
Yes.
But we have the two coolest TIA students in studio with us, Dulce and Emmanuel.
Right.
And we're going to go ahead this segment, we're actually going to let them talk.
Yeah. So don't start with me. Don't start with me.
So the question I always, there's a litany of questions I love to ask Tucson International Academy students, but one of the major ones we like to ask, especially since this is called the Making College Come True radio show, is when was the idea of college first introduced to your life, and then what type of impact did that make? we'll start with you first, Emmanuel.
So when the idea to college came to me, it was around like 4th, 5th grade. And after that, I started looking for a college that I really wanted to go to and see how it was going to go. And I've set my mind on one, and it just kept going from there.
Yeah. What college is that?
Grand Canyon University.
Yay!
Oh, nice.
That's an awesome choice.
That's a very popular
Really?
one of your students, it seems. Yeah,
I can
that's
vouch
nice.
for it.
And
you
your
know.
daughter went there, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
and graduated
Mhm.
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like all the stuff you get to do there. I mean, if there's something you didn't get to do while you were younger, you can do it there. It's
Mhm.
really got lots of opportunities.
Nice. Nice. Now, what about you, Dulce?
Oh, well, college first came up to mind was when my brother first started applying to colleges. That was in 5th grade.
In 5th grade. Nice.
Yes. And well, like Emmanuel said, I did look into colleges. I also looked into Grand Canyon University.
Nice.
I also looked into the U of A here
Mhm.
because I wanted to see if it would be a better choice. But I really had set on the Grand Canyon University
Ooh,
for a long
wow.
time.
Yes.
Mm. And when like the idea of college like came to you, like how has that developed? Well, I guess we'll start with you. We'll say how's that like idea developed for you up to this point? Because I mean, you got 2 years that you're away from it. So how are you feeling about the idea of college and and just the experience of even going to it?
I feel like college is, for me, it's a good experience because I'm the youngest. So I guess I wanted to be like the one that actually got to go to college or do all the things that my brothers and sisters weren't able to do
Mhm.
at the time. So that idea has been a lock in my head for a long time.
Nice.
I love that. Yes, and you learn from their example. So what they went through wasn't all for nothing, and that's what they say about going to college. It's like after a while, like in my family, I mean, my grandma and grandpa went to college.
Mm.
That was a long time ago. That's back my grandpa was born in 1899 or something like that, and they went to college. So in the 20s, they were in college. My parents went to college in the 50s. And I went to college and my daughter went to, so like once it's in your family, it's so easy to do if you choose it. You don't have to choose it to be successful. Like, your siblings don't have to feel inferior in any way, shape, or form. They had reasons that they didn't, stay that course because something else came up. And that's how life is.
Mhm.
But what's cool is that you're like, yeah, and I still value it and I'm still going to go for it. So I think that's a great, healthy mental attitude.
Yeah.
And I think your whole family will celebrate with you hugely because they understand the quest. They understand the challenges.
Mm-hmm. And I extend to you, Emmanuel. What are a question that Dr. J loves asking is, what do you look forward to in college?
What I look forward to is having a lot of fun and actually learning certain stuff that you want to learn, taking courses that you want to do. And college it got me intrigued when I heard of it. And so I really wanted to go. And a lot of the courses I want to take are courses that my brother took, but didn't complete them because he kind of didn't want to do them anymore. So I want to try and complete them. And so I kind of want to do a lot of stuff in
Nice.
college.
Yeah.
Nice. And I guess I'll start with you with this question, then we'll move over to Dulce. What do you want to go to college for, Emmanuel?
I want to go to college for, let me see. So what I wanted to do was welding at first, but I didn't want to do that anymore. So what I want to go to is try to get some courses on financing or anything that can help me in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just want to take those courses and
Nice.
see.
Yeah.
Take a couple like years in college.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great plan. And then given the experience you just had and the success you had, I mean, that's got to be encouraging. You might be headed in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think Dr. J will attest that you'll see when you get into college, and I think a lot of people, they're scared, like they're afraid to pick what degree or major that they're going to do, but it's not in stone. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
you want to stick with with your major throughout the whole time. But if you get into something, you're like, I don't like this. It's boring. I think Dr. J talks about a time when she started in business and she wasn't feeling that at all. That just wasn't in her passion. She didn't have a heart for it. And then, Lord and behold, here she is, as an educator and all the things that became. So, like when you guys go to school and when you pick, and I'm about to ask you, Dulce, when you pick, a major or what you want to go to school for, don't be scared. Tell people and don't be scared to follow through with it and see where it is, because you can change it. It's not in stone. It's not, it's not, and you don't have to put it in your casket with you. So it's cool. Yeah. So in Dulce, I guess, I opened the same question to you. What were you thinking to get in, go to school for?
Well, first of all, I wanted to be a nursing assistant.
Nice.
That's really good.
At first, and I kind of kept looking into things that like intrigued me, and I decided I kind of wanted to be a lawyer.
Ooh,
and that was probably two of my first priorities, to get those, to see what courses I could take for both of them, and see if I could do first a lawyer first and then a nursing assistant. But I decided that I am going to start with lawyer instead of just trying to go with nursing assistant.
Is there a type of law that really intrigues you?
An attorney? I don't know. Not really. I haven't looked into that yet.
Like criminal law or like
could be medical law.
Medical law.
Since you're interested in medicine, that
probably medical law or criminal.
Like malpractice law, possibly, particularly as a nurse. Like you want, if people are getting hurt and you want to help them protect themselves from that. So that's super cool. Yeah, you got some smarties in here. Okay,
yes, he's gonna develop those for you and help you see what it means.
Nice.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, we got you guys hold in tight there. Yay. If you got to take a bathroom break, do it quick, because we have one more segment left up for you of the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy. As I said, if you have a student between the ages of K through 12 and you're looking to make college come true in their life, go to TucsonInternationalAcademy.com. This is Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy.
We now return to the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy.
Hello, welcome back to the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy. I'm Pastor John McLean, here with Dr. Jennifer Herrera, also known as Dr. J. Yeah,
I get excited for my own name.
I know. It's exciting to me too.
I'm pretending the crowds are going, wow.
Yeah, I hear it. I feel that. Whenever you step in the room, I hear it in my head just like you do. So,
there you go.
Yeah, like we've been friends for over a year now, and I don't think I've ever called you Jennifer. So you could, just to show you how much I love the Dr. J name as much as you do.
Awesome.
So my favorite part of the Making College Come True radio show, whenever we have Tucson International Academy students in the house, is asking them about Tucson International Academy and their experience. Because I've always, one thing, definitely, I'll probably take this away from before they say it, always hear about how this is a family. Like how Tucson International Academy feels a lot more like a family than a school in so many different ways. So we'll start with Dulce this time. The first question would be, when did you first start going to Tucson International Academy?
I first started in second grade.
In second grade. So this question may be a little hard to answer, based off of what how your memory works, but let's try it. What are your thoughts on Tucson International Academy versus, I'm guessing, the conventional school that you went to prior to that?
Well, other schools are very different. And at kinder first, I guess, it was okay, but I guess they were more strict and more on top of your grades. And I guess TIA here, they leave you a bit of space to breathe with your grades, and they also let you have more freedom with your work as well, because I left 5th grade and came back because fifth grade was a very difficult year. Because I was in a different school, and of course I was used to TIA and all their things that they let us do. So it was very difficult because the school I went to, they were strict on everything, like grades, where you sit, mentally and all that. And I guess TIA has more freedom to their students, and they give us more chances on things such as work or freedom and like talking in specific ways as well.
Nice.
Man, I love to hear that, because sometimes people come to our school and they say we're too strict. I think to myself, we are not that strict. I don't understand. Like, I mean, oh yeah, you have to wear a uniform. Well, any job, you kind of have a dress code you have to follow. So that doesn't really, I'm like, no, that can't count. What are they talking about that we're too strict? I mean, I think the only thing is you can't just take an F. We just make you keep redoing it till you get it. Then you can do it in different ways, right? You can do a presentation on it. Maybe you're more of a presenter than a writer. But the writing will come later, you know, enter Brian Beebe. But it's like you will have a chance to develop all the different ways of learning. So I am always surprised when some people say we're too strict. Thank you for pointing that out, because that's more what I believe TIA is. I believe we're actually more flexible in that we keep our eye on the big goal. It isn't just the grade that you got today. It's the big goal is that you come out a well-rounded person, that you come out with like a true education that you're going to take with you for the rest of your life. So I'm really thankful that somebody sees it. Thank you.
Nice.
A plus. I'll pay you later. No, I'm just kidding.
Your check's in the mail.
Yeah, check's in the mail.
So I guess, you know, the same question to you, Emmanuel, and I'll ask it again. And you, actually, the first question would be, when did you first start going to Tucson International Academy?
I started going to TIA as soon as I was able to go to school, because my mom enjoyed that school. Having my siblings in there, she kind of enjoyed it.
Nice. And how many siblings did you have that went to Tucson International Academy?
I only had 2.
Okay, so you had, I'm guessing, a brother and a sister?
Yeah.
Let's go with that, yeah. And we were talking about it a little bit during the break, and how, you know, in a lot of ways, your family was a fabric of Tucson International Academy, and now you are a part of that. But I'm guessing you know, whether it was episodes of Saved by the Bell or your other friends that that go to other schools, you know, what they consider conventional schools, what would you say is the difference between Tucson International Academy and those other schools?
So what I heard from my siblings, the other schools really didn't help them much, saying that they were kind of not really paying attention to them as much as TI would to their students. So other schools would basically just like pay attention to other students. Like they were basically like the black sheep in a white herd, basically. They wouldn't really be able to get much attention. And I was told all this, and my mom didn't really trust me going to other schools because she really liked TIA, the way they gave students freedom. And as they were saying, it's not that strict. They let you get freedom with your friends. They at least tell you what you're missing, or tell you if your grade is low and try to help you through all that. So
nice.
Yeah, I think it's such a shame if you're just cut off from learning the material. Oh, you got an F. Well, we don't have time to go back. Well, how is that education? I mean, you have information you're trying to relay to them, and for them to crunch into their own head and to engage in. So what a ripoff, right? Yeah. And so thank you. I'm glad for the feedback. And I will say this about your mom. She is part of the fabric of TIA. She would tell us what she liked and what she didn't like, and we listened because we were small. We're small. Parents have the chance to talk to us, and I appreciate the efforts she made to talk to us and to interact, because then we were able to make it good. And apparently it worked because you're still with us. I love it.
Yeah, and I would guess probably in that same vein, and I'll turn the question back to you, Emmanuel. A big thing that I've heard about Tucson International Academy, unfortunately didn't get the chance to go there, but I heard about we got some events we talked about earlier in the show, the partnerships with things like JA. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, you know, some of the events and what you like, you know, about that part of TIA? And I'm guessing even your mom, your family's probably been a part of the events in some capacity as they go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the events that happen at TA are actually pretty exciting.
Mm.
So right now on the 30th, we're having a star party.
Nice.
And basically what that
Okay.
is like we're learning about astrology and stuff, and it's going to be a real big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff that I mostly enjoy was probably Winterfest that happens every December.
Coming up.
So I really enjoy these type of events that they do every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
The JA event that we had recently, that was probably one of my favorites because it actually helped me through getting to know stocks.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet it's one of your natural giftings is probably numbers, and you see patterns, and you have something for it. So that's fun, right? It's fun to explore what works for you.
Mm-hmm. And I know like Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah, Dieciséis.
Does your
Chinese New
your
Year.
family ever participate with like bringing stuff to that or and fun
yeah,
stuff like that?
they actually do, but we kind of stopped because my mom has a lot of work. So
Yeah. It happens.
before we attended it quite a lot,
Nice.
and then we would enjoy because it was kind of like a big thing for my family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
food
Nice.
and music and dance.
yeah. Cinco de Mayo was kind of a big thing
Nice.
between us. So
And what about you,
Nice.
Dulce? What is what's been some of your favorite like events and things going on coming out of TIA?
Well, like how Emmanuel said, I did like Winterfest. Winterfest is a good event that we have, and also the Star Party. Star Party we don't really have it for so long, so when we do get it, it's very fun when we get the chance to have it. And for right now it's Thanksgiving, so right now we're doing canned food drive for the poor. So we're kind of competing against each other's class to see which one can bring more cans for
Nice.
the people.
That is fun.
My favorite type of competition. for
Mine
sure.
too. Yeah. And just think what they're contributing to the community
Mhm.
already at their young ages. I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always do a great job. And then you guys might even end up creating boxes for families, and then even get a chance to make cards and put in there sometimes. I know you guys have done that in the past, but it'll be neat to see what you do. It's going to be really, really a year, I think, where people will appreciate that box of food.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we got probably about a minute and a half till we're going to cook out of here, but we'll start with you first. We'll say, what would you say to a possible incoming TIA student to, I guess, prepare them, or just something to look forward to?
Well, to look forward to for TIA, well, we have a lot of things. Like we said, we did the partnership with JA, which is a very exciting experience for me, at least, because I love like numbers or math in general. So really like that. And also, most of the events we do, we kind of do like charity and stuff. So that also is an exciting thing. Also, looking forward, if you are coming, might not be as strict, so it might get some weight off your back for a minute.
Nice.
Thank
And
you.
yeah.
Yeah, you love hearing that, don't you?
That's our goal.
Yeah.
Like, we really do want to take the stress off of kids
Mhm.
and off of families, so they have less bullying. Yeah, I'd love to think we have zero, but I know how people are. But I know we have less, where the parents can actually talk to us if they want. They just have to, frame it in a way that we can receive it.
Mhm.
And that helps. What else is there? I mean, helping them actually learn the material.
Mhm.
Not just say, here's the work, finish it. Oh, you got an F. I don't have time to reteach, and then, wow, what's that? I don't like that. So, yay. That's our heart. That's the heart of TIA.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, and thanks again, guys, for coming on. You have lived up to the hype. You are the coolest kid in
Yes,
the
you
Tucson International
are.
Academy network. You can go back to school and let them know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys have been excellent guests. Thank you for helping us better explain what's available to people for making college come true. And that's a radio show. You did
Yeah.
it. Congratulations.
Thanks for being here. Thank you.
And everybody out there listening, thank you for listening. This is the Making College Come True radio show, brought to you by Tucson International Academy. I'm still Pastor John, sitting here next to still Dr. Jennifer Herrera, and still sitting next to not Dr. J, Mr. Brian Beebe. We'll catch you next week. God bless.